Hello, and welcome to GTFO Academy. This series where I go over very specialized topics in-game within a bite-sized format ranging from novice to advanced skill levels. So let's get started with today's intermediate topic, which is stamina and the heart rate monitor. So we'll start off with how the heart rate monitor works before we get super technical with this. But basically, the heart rate monitor scales from 60 to 180 BPM depending on how much stamina you have remaining. This means that if you have 100% stamina, your BPM will be 60, and if you have 0% stamina, your BPM will be 180. It is important to note that while you are in combat, your stamina is capped at 75% of its maximum, meaning that your BPM cannot go below 90. Another thing to note is that outside of combat, stamina cannot drop below 40%, meaning that the highest BPM you could have is 132. Outside of combat means that there are no enemies awake and that there are no active alarms going on. So if you have something like an error alarm going on, even if there's no enemies that are currently alive, you are still technically in combat. Stamina only affects three things. Those three things being your sprinting speed, how fast you charge your melee weapon, and the recovery period after you shove with your melee weapon. The less stamina that you have remaining, the slower all three of these actions will be. Things that actually use stamina is sprinting, charged melee attacks, jumping, and shoving. Another thing to keep note of is that sliding while sprinting, although it will no longer increase your movement speed, it will actually allow you to conserve stamina and allow you to sprint for longer than you would otherwise normally be able to. With the basic explanation out of the way, we're going to go ahead and start talking about the numbers and the more technical details. Stamina will slow your sprinting, charge, and shove speeds by up to 33% depending on how much stamina you have lost. The default running speed of the player is 6 units per second, which is more or less as fast as strikers will move. Depending on how much stamina you've lost, this will scale all the way down to 4 units per second, which is only slightly faster than walking, which is 3.5 units per second. In the description, I will have a table and a graph link that will show exactly how fast you are moving for each percent of stamina that you have lost. I will also show it on screen here with a condensed table. If you want to work out what your BPM would be in-game for a given stamina percentage, you would do the percent of stamina lost times 1.2 plus 60. So for example, if I have 60% of my stamina, I have lost 40%, so I would do 40 times 1.2 plus 60, which would be 108 BPM. Stamina begins to regenerate 2.5 seconds after not performing an action that would consume stamina. It regenerates at 15% or 18 BPM while you're in combat, or at a rate of 25 or 30 BPM while you are out of combat. Sprinting uses stamina at a rate of 1.666% or 2 BPM while you are in combat, and at a rate of 0.666 or 0.8 BPM while you are out of combat. Jumping uses 5% stamina or 6 BPM while you are in combat or out of combat. Charged melee attacks and shoves will use a different amount of stamina depending on which melee weapon you are using, but currently, both the hammer and the spear use 5% stamina or 6 BPM per full charge or shove. The bat uses 2.5% or 3 BPM per, and the knife doesn't use any. Once you hit 30% stamina remaining or 144 BPM, this is the halfway point in terms of speed that you're going to lose. If you hit this point, it's not advised to burn any more stamina unless you absolutely have to, because it is going to slow you down significantly faster than before. If you hit this point and you have the time, waiting exactly 5.5 seconds will bring you back up to your maximum 75% stamina, because remember, while you are in combat, you only have a max of 75% stamina. Anyways, outside of all of that, I really have nothing else. If there's a specific topic you'd like to see, go ahead and leave a comment requesting it, and I'll see about getting around to it. Other than that, that's all I've got, and you guys have fun.